In this video, we'll walk through what it looks like on the day of the virtual fair. We'll walk through a few different perspectives as well. So first, we'll walk through what it looks like for an employer to access a one-on-one and start that one-on-one with a student. Then we'll go through what this looks like on the student side. So first, we'll start from the perspective of the employer. I'm inside my employer account right now. And one way I can see my upcoming fairs is by looking at my company profile, and I can see all of the upcoming fairs for my company. I want to join this fall engineering fair since that has started today. And I'm going to access my schedule. I can see my full schedule for the day, including one-on-ones, and I have a group session later. I can see the students that I'm meeting with, view their profiles, and when I'm ready, launch the video to connect with those students. I'm going to go ahead and launch the video to connect with this student, Tony, for my one-on-one. So I'm going to click this button that says Launch Video. Before I join, I can see a demo video of what I look like to make sure this picture is clear. I can choose to turn this video off or keep it on. And I'm automatically muted, so I can choose to unmute myself whenever I'd like to do so. When I click these three dots here, I can check my different settings. So I can check my audio settings to make sure that the audio is coming from the right source for both the microphone and the speakers. Same thing with the video, make sure it's coming from the right source if you have multiple sources. Other things that I want to call out here is reporting any problems. I'll show what that looks like when I start the video as well. But everything looks good on my end, so I'm going to join now. If the student is already in there, I will see them very soon. So I clicked the Join Now button. Oh, it looks like a student is already in there. Okay, great. So there's a couple of different ways you can communicate with students. So Tony, let's try talking. Hi, Tony. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Erin.
Great. So most employers and students will likely communicate that way, but I want to call out a couple of different features here. So you'll notice different icons in the upper right-hand corner. These are available in all of the Handshake videos. I can click this chat icon, and this is a way where Tony and I can chat. This is also available in the group sessions, so we'll note that later on. And I can see Tony's response here. One thing I want to call out is the three dots that appear next to a chat. If anything is sent that is inappropriate, you can report the user, or the employer can remove a user from the session if absolutely need be. But you can also report a user for any reason that you need to. This will go straight to our team in order to investigate and take the right action here. So I did want to call out this trust and safety feature that is available for both employers and students to report a user if you need to. I'll just click this icon here at the upper right-hand corner, and I can see all of the participants. In the one-on-one sessions, there should only be 2 participants. This will be much more full, of course, during a group session. And similar to what I shared earlier, you can report users and remove users from the session if you need to here. A couple more things to call out. As an employer in a one-on-one session and in a group session, I can share my screen by selecting this button. Once I select this button, I'll be able to choose which window I would like to share, if I want to share my whole screen or, for example, a certain tab on my browser. And then finally, again, your settings are available to you throughout the session. So when I click settings in the left-hand corner here, I can double check or update my audio and video settings. And I'm also able to report a problem if anything occurs during this session. These go straight to our support team members to troubleshoot as quickly as possible. An important call out is that each one-on-one session is 10 minutes. employers and students can leave the one-on-one session before the 10 minutes is up. There is not a countdown or a timer, so it will be good for both employers and students to take note of this. And we can leave the session at any time whenever we're ready to wrap up. So bye, Tony. It was nice meeting you. I'm going to click Leave Session here. And I will end session for all. I'll wrap up this one-on-one session. Every student and employer will see this pop up to rate their experience and tell us any other feedback to submit the survey. And that wraps up the perspective of an employer during a one-on-one video session during a virtual fair.
So next, we're going to walk through the process of what a student will see on the day of the career fair when they go in to log into Handshake. So as you can see, we're here on the student homepage, and you'll see at the very top, there's a great prompt that notifies me as a student that the fall engineering fair is today. There is a link to go to my schedule, so I'm going to click on that great little notification. And I'll be taken to the main fair page that includes details on the fair. You'll see it does denote that I am already registered for the fair. It includes some great best practices for students here on how they can stand out with some helpful tips that we know are important for the day of the fair. So great things to keep in mind so we can ensure students are prepared, as well as a really helpful link to viewing an article on more tips for students. So if I scroll back up to the top, I'll see my sessions. You'll also see, so my sessions will indicate the sessions that I have gone ahead and signed up for. There's also an available sessions tab, which will show the available sessions for that career fair. So I'm going to go back to my sessions specifically. And you'll see here that I have a one-on-one session scheduled with the O'Keefe Company from 3:20 to 3:30. And then I've also signed up for a group session with O'Keefe Company from 3:30 to 4. So for this demo, we're going to actually go through joining the one-on-one session. So I'm going to click here on the purple button that says Join Video. And this is where I'll be able to test out my video and audio before I actually join and connect with the employer. So I can turn my video on and off, and I can mute or unmute myself. These three buttons here will also indicate where I can check my audio settings and my video settings. If I'm not sure it's working correctly, I can go ahead and do a quick test here to ensure that I'm using the right microphone, the right speakers, and then I am connected to the right input for my video. I can also go ahead and report a problem here. We'll talk through that in more detail, but if I'm experiencing any issues, this will direct me to fill out a form that will be routed to our support team. All right, so everything's looking great. I am going to join to connect with Erin.
Hi, Caroline. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Erin. Thanks so much for meeting with me today. So this is where the student will be able to, as you can see, interact with the employer and ask questions through audio. I also have the ability to chat with the employer here by clicking on the icon with the chat box. So here is where I can send Erin a message if for any reason I want to use chat instead. So this is where we'll have the ability to do that. You'll also see the three dots here, and this is where if anything is making me uncomfortable as a student, if I'm not sure that this is potentially a suspicious employer or there is something happening in the chat that I'm not comfortable with, I do have the ability to report the user here through the three button icon here. And then I can also click on this, which will show me the participants in the meeting, which is more relevant for a group session, but also enables me to see if the host employer has their video on and their microphone on as well. And then I also have the same settings over here on the left-hand side. So if I've run into any issues with my audio or video and I want to double check anything, I can still do that on here in this window. And then typically the employer would leave the session once it concludes, but I do as a student also have the ability to leave the session whenever I am ready as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and leave. Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
And that's what it looks like for the student to join a one-on-one session.